Every street, every single building has a hidden story just waiting to be told. So today, we're going to uncover the story of one village, Elburton, to see just how a place can completely transform over time. And wow, talk about a transformation. Just look at this. On the left, you've got the old main road. It's quiet, almost totally empty. You can practically hear a horse and cart clopping along just out of frame. And then on the right, same exact spot, just decades later. It's lined with modern shops, it's bustling with cars. This one comparison really sets the stage for the whole story, a story of quiet change that suddenly sped up. So let's start our walk through Elburton's history, and we're going to begin right at its ancient heart, with the oldest object in the entire village. This is it. Carved from Dartmoor granite way back in the 14th century, this cross has seen everything. It wasn't just for show, it stood over a trough where people actually drew their water. It's been knocked over, it's been moved, and it even survived getting hit by a huge gun lorry during World War I. It's just this silent witness to hundreds of years of village life. Now, every village needs a center, right? A hub of activity. And for Elburton, that was the crossroads, where one particular building became a really familiar landmark. So yeah, the co-op became this famous landmark, but it's standing on the site of the original village grocery, which was run by a man named Frederick Rose. The Rose family was really central to the village. They ran the main shop from the 1920s all the way until Frederick's death in 1946. You have to understand, this building wasn't just a shop. It was the cornerstone of the community. It's where generations of families would have gone for their daily needs. And what's a village without a post office? Well, Elburton's very first one opened around 1905, right here, inside this private house. That man in the window? That's William Doddridge, the first postman. And get this, his workday was an absolute marathon. He worked from 7:30 in the morning till 7:30 at night, walking 10 miles on his morning delivery, and then another 6 to 8 in the afternoon. Incredible. But the post office, it didn't stay in one place. This timeline here shows how this vital service literally moved right along with the village's needs. It went from the grocer's shop in 1913 to a new terrace in 58, and then finally to a renovated barn in 63. Each one of those moves tells a little story about a growing, changing community. Okay, so let's move from the village center and talk about the services and transport that were really the lifeblood of this place, connecting it to the wider world. Long before cars ruled the roads, this was one of the most important buildings in Elburton, the blacksmith's forge. For over 100 years, it was run by the Truscott family. Can you just imagine the constant noise and activity, the clang of the hammer, the smell of hot metal? It would have been such a vital hub for all the local farms. And the sheer amount of work they did here was just staggering. At its peak, Mr. Truscott would shoe between 40 and 50 horses from all the surrounding farms, and he'd do that every 4 to 6 weeks. That just goes to show how essential this one business was to everybody. But of course, the world was modernizing. From the 1920s, bus services, like the one you see here, started connecting residents to nearby towns. And then there was the railway. The Elburton branch line was absolutely critical. Not just for people commuting, but for transporting all that fresh local produce, milk, cream, tomatoes, out to the markets. Life wasn't all just work and travel, though. So let's take a look at how the people of Elburton actually spent their time and how they built that real community spirit. Check this out. This is the old cider pound. Local farmers would bring all them apples here, and a horse would just walk in a circle, turning this massive grinding stone to crush them all. Then they'd take the pulp and press it to make cider. So simple, so communal, and a uniquely local industry. And for a bit of fun, this was the place to be, the tea gardens. On a sunny weekend, this spot would attract up to 1,000 visitors. No joke. They had band concerts, sports, community outings. It was especially popular for children's events, giving kids from the nearby city of Plymouth a real day out in the country. Like any community, Elburton's history wasn't just about daily life. It was shaped by these huge moments of national crisis and also incredible shared joy. Can you just imagine the tension in the village when this headline came out? During the war, a big cavity was discovered, and the authorities suspected it was hiding a massive, unexploded 500-pound German bomb. It took a delicate, totally nerve-wracking 6-week excavation to investigate. The entire community was just holding its breath. And then the contrast from the fear of war to this incredible scene of pure relief and celebration. This is VE Day, Victory in Europe, on May 9th, 1945. The entire community is gathered outside the King's Head Inn. The war is over, and you can just feel the absolute joy pouring out of this photograph. Okay, so let's see how all of these individual stories come together in the final, sweeping transformation of the village. Take a good look at these views from the 1950s. This is the Elburton that so many residents would have known. It's still its own distinct village, see? It's surrounded by open fields and woods and farmland. But these very fields were about to disappear. This was really the last moment before that final wave of development, before all the private houses were built that now connect it to its neighbors, completing its journey from a rural village to a modern suburb. The story of Elburton really shows that every single place has this rich history of work and community and crisis and change, and it's often hiding just beneath the surface. It leaves you wondering, doesn't it? What stories are hidden on your main street?